Hey everyone, this is your insurance attorney, Anthony Lopez from Marinol Hayek, Lopez and Martinez, and today we're going to be discussing what does my homeowner's insurance policy cover? Well, that's a great question, and unfortunately it's a very broad question, and I get it all the time. And without actually reviewing your policy, it's very difficult for me to tell you what may be covered and what's not covered. So let's talk about the topic generally. Well, generally speaking, if you have a standard HO3 form, homeowner's insurance policy, those are typically all risks policies. So what does that mean? What's an all risk policy? Well, in Florida, an all risk policy is any policy that provides coverage for all risks unless that risk is specifically excluded on the policy. So what does that mean? It literally means exactly what I said. Everything is covered unless you see in black and white on your policy that it's specifically excluded. So what kinds of things are an all-risk policy going to cover? Well, typically an all-risk policy will cover you for anything that happens that is sudden and accidental that causes damage to your home. So in other words, as long as it's not something that's been an ongoing or long-term problem or a maintenance type issue, those are typically not covered by your standard HO3 form. But if it's something that's sudden and accidental, those kinds of losses are typically covered by an HO3 standard homeowner's policy. So let's talk about some of those things. Well, let's say you come home and your house burned to the ground. Well, that's an easy one. That type of loss is typically covered. Water losses that are sudden and accidental are typically covered. And in those instances, what I mean by covered is up to the limits of the coverage in your policy. And if you look on what's known as the declarations page of your policy, typically one of the first few pages, you'll see next to coverage A, B, C, D numbers, and those numbers are the coverage limits that are afforded by your policy. So if you have some sort of a loss, you can look at your declarations page and see up to how much the insurance company may pay you for your claim if they decide it's covered. So again, to reiterate, a standard HO3 form is an all-risk policy, covers all risk unless those risks are specifically excluded by the policy. If you find this information helpful and you like what you've heard, feel free to subscribe to my channel or leave a comment below. And if you have any questions, you can write those questions down below as well, and I may answer those questions on my next video segment. Again, this is your insurance attorney, Anthony Lopez from Marinol Hayek, Lopez and Martinez.